What's up, world? Here we are in week 8, and I'm sad to see that I'm going to be wrapping this up, but also excited because, well, now I can move on to do something new. But anyway, last week's it sounds like I may be on Jason's podcast again, because last week he wrote back to me after my audio message and said that he really liked the question. He thought it would be a good question to answer for his listeners. So whenever that happens, hey, maybe I'll be on twice on his podcast without actually being a guest, and then he'll remember me, and maybe in the next year I'll get to be a guest on his show. That's the goal. That's the dream. But anyway, all right, so rolling along, I will get to week 8 audio message, which I am going to be dropping, and it's kind of a continuation from a previous week. I want to say from week 3, where I talked about sort of my dream of having this family remote year. If you don't know, remote year is this cohort of location-independent remote workers or location-independent entrepreneurs, etc., who kind of travel around the world together, who did so before the pandemic, at least. And remote year was one of the original ones, but there are a lot of other similar programs now. And so in week 3, I was talking about how I wanted to create a similar type of program for families. And of course, there's a lot more challenges that come with imagining sort of the right type of infrastructure for a family. But that's my goal. And maybe it wouldn't be an actual business. Maybe it's not something that can sustain in that way, but it's something that I want to do and be a part of. So maybe sort of like a co-op where we all kind of chip in together and do this sort of traveling school together, a bunch of families traveling the world and having, hiring private teachers, nannies, and all the other stuff that comes with remote year. Co-working space, community spaces, events to kind of get integrated into the community. And so that's remote year. And in my message to Jason today, I'm going to kind of give a second spin off of that concept. And I did not prepare this time, so I'm kind of worried that I'm going to start recording. I'm a little worried that I'm going to have to do 2 or 3 takes on this one, because I may start rambling and it may take me a while to kind of get my footing on what it is that I'm trying to say. And as always, I'm trying to keep it concise for him in case he wants to put it on his podcast, even though I of course don't expect to be on. I thought that, if I did a good job, I thought that every message I sent him would have the potential to be on the podcast, but I didn't think in reality that he would necessarily even post one and share one with his listeners. So it was, so that happening was certainly a pleasant surprise. If it happens a second time, which it sounds like it might, that is really beyond anything I would have imagined. And so I'm just saying that as I record this, I'm trying to do a good job and make it so that he could package it on his podcast. I'm certainly not expecting that he would do that, because I've already far exceeded my expectations. Anyway, here we go. But part of the reason why I want to do these and do them well and have like sort of a nice, usable 2-minute audio clip is because I want him to think that maybe Max would be a good guest on my podcast. So so there's always a reason to kind of put your best foot forward and and do the best job that you can. So, all right. Oh, and another thing is I've had a really, really bad sore throat this whole week since Tuesday. Today's Sunday now, and since Tuesday, I had a really bad sore throat, but it's getting better. And today is like not too bad. So my you can probably hear that my voice is a little different. It's a little hoarse, but I'm definitely getting better. So that's one of the reasons why I pushed off doing this recording for several days, because I was waiting for my voice to come back a little bit. All right. I'm going to dive into it. I know that I'm not going to like it, and I'm going to have to at least do it a second time. But c'est la vie. All right. Say week 8. Here we go. Nope. It always fails the first time, and I have to try again. Just doing these QuickTime recordings on my MacBook. And for some reason, I always get an error the first time I try to record. What's up, Jason? Week 8. It's your biggest fan, Max. Once again, coming to you to kind of share an idea that is a spinoff of one of my previous ideas that I shared with you. And no, I'm not running out of ideas. It's just that this is a really important thing to me, and I feel like you can connect with it for sure. And so if you remember back, I talked about how I wanted to have a family remote year, a remote year designed specifically for families with young children, kind of educational component to that. Well, there's a second type of remote year that I want to see, to be a part of, to create, whatever it is. And that is a remote year for musicians. And if you can imagine it, just how awesome it would be to like travel the world with other artists, musicians specifically, who are kind of, all kinds of diverse musicians, but people who are in that world, that realm of creating sound and audio and music, and just having other people travel with you who are writing lyrics, writing music, practicing, jamming out, and doing this as sort of a cohort and hitting up all these different cities and really diving into those local music scenes, the visiting the venues, the historic venues, maybe meeting local artists, learning about the history and the culture of the music there. And especially in like non-Western locations, getting into that like ethnomusicology, learning about like the cultural music that came from that region. So I just think it'd be awesome to make those connections, have touring musicians, I guess the people in the group who are traveling around the world, bringing their ideas into the local music scene, learning from those local musicians there and taking those ideas and just moving around, and like having jam sessions, having concerts. It would just be so magical and so amazing. And I know you can imagine that. Imagine how awesome that would be too. So that's something I'd love to do someday. I can't really imagine doing that with my kids, my family. I don't know when or how, but that's just another version of remote year that I really, really, really want to be a part of. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you next week. I don't know. That was okay. I got my idea out. It was 3 minutes though. Probably didn't have to talk so long in the beginning before getting to the idea. But screw it. I think that's good enough. We'll send that to him. The thing, something that I realized, that I've been realizing, that I've noticed with his sort of audio messages that he includes on his podcast, he doesn't seem like he edits them. He didn't edit mine, the one that he included mine. I certainly expected that he would trim some at least from the front and the back, but he included my message like from the get-go. And it sounds like he does that with other people. They do the whole, "Hi, Jason, my name is blah, 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 and I'm from you." And like, he just like has the whole long spiel of like, for me too, I definitely thought, if anything, it would have been wise to cut some stuff out from the middle where I kind of rambled on about things, but he just put my whole message on there. And so with that in mind, I always want to now like make sure that they're concise and delivered well, because I'm afraid he's just gonna, if he were ever to use it again, no expectations of that, but if he were, he might just like stick the whole thing up without editing it. And so I want to deliver a good final product to him. But anyway, all right, I think I'm done for this week. Peace out.